Hello, my amazing artists. Today we are transforming our color wheels. So as you can see, I've already cut out my color wheel. It looked like this before. I cut it out because I went out of the lines a little bit and I don't want my labels showing on this project. So that is now trash. And you are going to get an option of how you want to transform your color wheel. You have two choices today. The first one is a turtle. So you're going to go to the table and grab 5 pieces of paper. Now I've already started drawing on these papers. You're gonna need a head and 4 flippers, right? So I like to draw my flippers kind of like an almond shape. So to show you how to do that, I'm just gonna use this marker. You might wanna use a pencil in case you make a mistake. I'm going to start at the top in the middle of my paper. I'm gonna come down and touch the paper. And I'm going to come back up to that point and come down and touch the paper. I'm not coming down in a straight line like a triangle. It's kind of like an arching line. Okay? So that's how I make those flippers. Then I'm going to cut all of these shapes out. Alright, while I was cutting, you guys, I realized I needed a tail. So I just cut that out from one of my scrap papers. Alright, so now I've got all these shapes all ready to go. I'm going to flip over my color wheel to glue them on, but I need to decide where I want them all to go. So I'm going to put the head at the green part, I think. You can make the flippers whatever color you want. They don't have to be all the same. There we go. And then the tail, I think, will be at the bottom like that. Okay, so I'm going to flip over my color wheel and I'm going to add some glue. And I'm using a glue brush and a glue cup. So I'm just gonna probably add some glue right here. You could use a glue stick for this too, that would be fine. You just would really have to press and make sure that it doesn't move around. It'll be like that. I'm gonna hold. Alright, and you know to do the shake test and see if it comes off. If it comes off, that means you need to add more glue. I'm not only gluing a little bit, I'm gluing quite a bit. So I made my shapes pretty big, so they had a lot to stick onto. Okay, so I'm going to glue on all the rest of my shapes underneath my color wheel. Okay, you guys, I've glued all my shapes on, and I'm going to flip them over. I've pressed and held so they won't come off. Flip them over. Oh, he's so cute. So now you could take a Sharpie or a marker or something, and you can draw a face or some little eyes on your animal, on your little turtle. Oh my gosh, she's so cute. And, you know, go from there. You also have oil pastels in your drawer that you are welcome to use. Okay, so that is the turtle. Let me show you the eyeball now. So the eyeball is a little more complicated. So what you're going to do with the eyeball is you're going to get a large piece of colored paper. You're going to get a piece of black paper or another color. It's going to be the center of your eye, so you're going to be tracing this circle. You don't have to use black, but I am. So what you're going to do after you have these 3 things, piece of big paper, piece of smaller paper, and a tracer, is you're going to go back to your seat and you're going to cut out your color wheel just like you did with the turtle. Okay? So I'm going to move these things aside because I don't need those right now. I'm going to take my big paper, I'm going to fold it in half the long way like a hot dog. So I've got that, and I'm going to draw a line, and I'm now just making it vertical because it's easier to do. And I'm going to draw it from the folded side. So you see how this is the fold inside? When I fold it, this is the folded side, this is the open side. I don't want to draw it from the open side because it'll be 2 pieces and I want 1 piece, okay? This is a very important step. So from the folded side, I'm going to draw a big line that comes from about the top, not all the way at the top, almost to the top, around, and then back down. So it's like a really wide C shape. I'm going to draw in markers so you can see. So I'm going to come a little bit down from the top, maybe like here. I'm going to start drawing my line. It's going to come out. It's not going to touch the edge. It's going to come maybe a little bit close to it, but not quite. And I'm going to come back and touch the bottom. Okay? So now I'm going to cut that out. on the folded side, right? So I'm starting on the fold, I'm cutting out and around. So I'm going to end up with like this oval shape. Okay, so that's the part I don't want. This is the part I want. This is our like eyelid. Does that make sense? So you're gonna put your color wheel behind and it looks kind of like an eyeball. Ooh, so cool. If you don't like that line up there, you could just turn it upside down so then you can't see it anymore. So I'm gonna use my glue and my glue brush, and I'm gonna glue at the top and I'm gonna glue at the bottom. I like the orange on top, but you obviously can turn your color wheel however you want. But you do need to glue it at the top and you need to glue it at the bottom. You won't glue it on the sides, right? Because it looks like an eyeball. So it's gonna have some gaps, which is totally fine. So I'm gonna glue a little bit at the bottom, right there. Glue dries clear, so if you have a little extra, it's okay, they won't see it. All right. Okay. So I'm going to flip it over, see how that looks. That's not too bad. It's definitely well holding at the bottom here, but at this blue part, it's a little bit harder to see or harder to hold. So I'm just going to make sure I press it really good. Oops. I've got some color on my paper. Okay, so now that you've done that, you can make the pupil for the eye. So that's the part that like light comes in and we actually see. So if you want a black paper, you could totally trace around that. I'm using a white pencil so you can see. That wasn't the best, but I think I could do it. So you can trace a circle there. You're gonna cut that guy out. Carefully, carefully, carefully. Again, it doesn't have to be black. It could be blue, it could be green, whatever color you want. And then I'm gonna glue that guy down. Make sure to get the edges. Okay. I'm gonna glue it down to the middle, all right, because it's covering all those lines. Hold. Ta-da! That's pretty cool. So now you're gonna make some eyelashes. So to make eyelashes, you're just gonna, I like to cut really long, skinny triangles. You don't have to do triangles. You could do just strips of paper. You could do just really thin pieces, like rectangles. Either way is fine. So you can glue them to the top of the eye like this, and they can be just like sticking out like that. Or if you have a pencil, you going from the pointy end of the top, wrap it around, hold it for a few seconds, and then let it go, and now you have these like really cool curly eyelashes. And when you glue them down, just adding a little glue, they stick up because you're only gluing the bottom part. They stick up like that, which is really fun. And the more eyelashes you add, you guys, the really cooler it looks, I think. You can make them go all sorts of directions and be really crazy, or you can add them in order so they're like in a line. So you're gonna wanna add eyelashes all the way around the top. Okay, so those are your two options, the turtle or the eyeball. The eyeball's a little more challenging just because you have to cut this like oval shape, but I know you can do it. You got it. All right, have fun, good luck.